I'm a little bit bummed here, Stugatz, by 2 scheduling changes that we have had with animal-related guests right now. Ron McGill has had to postpone until next week, and we were going to have on, and I don't know which of the guests I was more upset to lose, because Karen Wickerson was going to be on with us, and she is basically the head of the rat patrol, the rat czar in Edmonton. She is what keeps rats out of Edmonton. We learned yesterday that there are only 26, 28, or 31 rats in Edmonton, and it's because this woman knows how to keep rats out of Edmonton, but unfortunately she had to postpone as well. Hopefully we can have her on tomorrow. In the interim, though, we have Greg Cote here, and we have not, because we've been talking too much Boston stuff and too much local championship hockey stuff. We have not done enough with Greg Cote or his podcast, The Greg Cote Show, featuring Greg Cote.
Thank you.
Which this week features his family Olympics. And Billy, I thought you'd appreciate this in an audio medium. I don't know if the family Olympics began with this or whether it was just a featured item in the Greg Cote Show featuring Greg Cote, but it had a staring contest in it.
Genius.
In an audio medium.
So
The Family Olympics had a staring contest.
Who won? Don't tell me.
Yeah,
I need to listen.
Spoiler alert. You gotta listen. Yeah.
Well, how long did the staring contest last? Because I imagine that if it was, a willful Olympian situation, that could last for a long time.
You'd be surprised.
I bet we did. I think we did 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
We didn't. We want a big sample here. We're not just doing one time.
Best 3 out of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I believe it was best 2 out of 3, and then the loser was a sore loser. So the winner was like, fine, we can do 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
And then
the loser may have protested the result because whoever lost hasn't been feeling well lately, and his eyes were sore, and it was just, you got it it's ridiculous, but that kind of thing, and so forth.
Okay, good ending to your
thank
thoughts
you.
there.
what are some other Olympic events that might come later in the summer?
I mean, we have bobbing for Snapple.
We're not doing that one.
Yeah,
bad joke when you made it on the pod.
we're gonna
you asked him.
We're going to
I wanted to-
submerge full bottles of
So
Snapple.
let me understand what just happened there in the rhythms and the chemistry.
Thank you
that
for
and-
explaining it.
you and
I
your
wasn't
son-
sure.
Yeah,
Thank
you and
you.
your son have. He tossed you the same thing that you had time to work out on your podcast, and your answer the second time was even worse than the shitty answer the first time?
Yeah, his idea was the staring contest, not mine.
No, I'm saying we listed a bunch of random stupid events like a staring contest, and I was like, here, let's tee that up so the audience can see what's down the road, and you just made the Snapple joke.
Okay,
again.
we're going to nail it in the garage.
What?
We're going to see who can pound a nail the quickest in a 4x4, and things like this. I mean, we're trying to get away from the classic cliche, free throw shooting contest
Right.
and all the sports stuff.
You've walked in on your son nailing in the garage before, yeah?
That's
Yeah,
why I was
but
confused.
It's a
Baby!
It's a rumor. I think that was just outside the garage on the side of the house.
Another one and maybe we could do this one here. Another one that we're gonna do is my dad wants to do this one, arm wrestling.
Yeah.
He thinks he could beat
Ooh,
me.
I'm worried about Greg there.
Well, I also want to do holding breath underwater.
That's another one I don't want to do.
Greg,
No.
you're going to lose.
No. I mean,
You have asthma.
Yeah, but before that, as a kid, when I'm 12, 13 years old, oh my gosh, I could hold my breath for well over a minute.
But you're not anymore.
I know, but still. And I will be using my inhaler.
That's cheating.
Before I do that.
Right.
It's not
And
just,
HGH expands the lungs.
Called a snorkel.
it could be a performance-enhancing drug. I don't know what the commissioner would decide, but
Put it on the poll in deep sea breathing. Is the asthma inhaler a performance enhancer?
right.
Aren't you the commissioner? I mean,
Normally we reconcile. We don't have a big controversy. Another future event is going to be hand clapping, because as a child,
We did this one on this week's episode.
I was renowned for how loudly I could clap
Can't
my
be true.
hands, and so that's going to be a category.
Why don't we do it right now?
Can we do it? I'd like to do a couple of these right now, including the arm wrestling.
they already did it, though, the clapping. I mean, that's what Chris is saying.
Well,
it was hard to pick up on Zoom.
Yeah, we snuck it.
You believe you are better. Hold on a second. Let's try this. You believe that you are appreciably louder as a clapper than everyone else here.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
I'm known
test.
for hand clapping.
All right, let's test this. I
Not
don't-
true.
Let's
No, I am.
we'll test it. We'll test it instead of arguing through a raspy voice
Right.
that is just barely hanging on.
Right.
Let's try everyone. Mike, you begin with what you're competing. You're trying to compete the loudest single clap, or
One
is it
clap, or-
is
How
it
many
one
do you
clap?
get?
How does this?
You get
How
to
does
build
how
up?
do the
It's
There's a
Olympics
lot of
work?
pressure going
I
first.
like the 5-pack.
Would you like me to go first? You prefer
5-pack.
Yeah,
so
five
five.
claps.
Can you go
clap.
first,
All
just so
right,
I can?
Sure. But
we
it's
can
five-
establish what I have to
so
beat?
It's 5
Yeah.
claps, but it's all
idea,
we're
Mike.
trying to get loud. That's what we're trying
Yes.
to do.
Volume.
Well, hold on a second. Is there like an
Yeah.
online like decibel counter or something
Yeah.
we can actually get information, or we
I feel like
just
we're stealing content
Well,
from the Greg Cote
I
Show, but
think-
that's okay.
I think
How buoyant
all right.
is Snapple?
It's okay.
when
I
you
don't
got
know.
something
That's half
this
the
good,
fun.
you can't keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to share.
Apparently not.
You've got to
You
share
can
it.
chip your tooth. I'm excited about the Snapple
I
one.
know, it's a good one.
Reconsider.
He's
It's a
afraid,
terrible
though.
idea.
He's
It's
afraid.
Oh, just your teeth
Plus
gnawing
he-
on the
plus-
cap.
Jar.
Oh,
That's a big cap. So you
Yeah.
gotta really open the maw.
Yeah.
You gotta unhinge that jaw. Yeah.
Bobbing for Snapples is disgusting and more difficult than bobbing for apples.
Yes, thank you.
Because those bottles are unpleasant.
you're onto something there.
Thank you.
But do you have any tips for me on how it is as the
I'm
king
not
of
gonna
tips.
give away my
the
tips.
king of
Competing
loud,
against
the,
you,
the
I
king
mean-
of loud clapping. Well, I thought
No one has
I'll go
Usain
last.
Bolt.
I'll go last.
you know how Larry Bird used to be so confident in what he did that he'd just tell you where he was shooting
Yes.
from beforehand. I thought he was good at this. I didn't think he'd give me some tips and I'd immediately be better than him.
So good that he would give the secrets
Yeah,
away,
but I
right?
mean,
It doesn't
I
matter
think-
if he gives them away, right?
Right, because he's so good. Because he's saying that he's the best at
Right.
this and that he's going to beat
Used
us
to be.
all.
Yeah, as a child, as a ute.
Wait, you only get one clap though.
Oh, he said a 5-pack.
A
Pack.
5-pack.
Yeah,
Oh,
five.
but then you get a cadence and a rhythm.
Yeah, we
you
recommend-
got to be perfect if it's just one.
Yeah, we recommend a 5-pack.
We're going to do one so that it's not quite the same.
Yeah,
as
it's gotta
the
be
Greg
different.
Cote
One
featuring
totally
Greg
changes the
Cote.
game.
No, I'll
Got the
do 5.
acoustics in the room.
No, you'll do what we're all doing.
Yeah,
We're
one.
competing.
How
We're-
about 3? Let's compromise.
We're only
with
counting your
3.
first.
How about 2?
We're going 1, and we're going with Greg's going last.
Nobody's loudest on their first clap, though. Look it up.
I know.
You got to build up.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is anyone loudest on their first clap?
Do you have the guts or not?
What do I need the guts
No, I'm
for?
asking Chris because, like, I got to build a head of steam. No, this is a real challenge.
I'm better with a 5-pack. Cody's are.
Thank
we
you.
struggle with the 1.
All
I grew up with a 5-pack.
Well, we're going to make it. This is the show that questions the pressure on athletes all the time and do it the one time you get the chance. You don't get 5 chances at it.
Yeah, you do.
At most, you get 4. Please win tonight.
Connor's got like 9
players
chances.
love of God.
Shoot 1 basket a game?
I'm
No.
going to go first. Ready?
Solid.
That's a good one.
Solid
But I also don't know what a bad one is.
All right, let's
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Yep.
Roy, let's see what you have here.
Ow!
Dan's winning.
I think Dan's winning.
Stugatz.
Yeah, and I'm following on the sound meter here.
Here we go.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Was it
your
louder?
fingers might give you an advantage
Fat,
here.
put it on the poll, Juju. Do fat sausage fingers help
Yeah.
you win clapping
Yeah.
contests?
I don't know if this is an official way to do it, but it's the best meter that I have. I'm looking at the sound waves, and that one registered the most.
Wow.
Chris Cote, go ahead.
All right, like I said, I'm a 5-pack guy, but all right.
You've already made the built-in excuse.
That's pretty solid. It's right up there.
I'm a
Maybe we have
Cody.
a clap off between you and Stu.
Guys, I'm a Cody.
All right, let's see, Mike, what you've got.
Oh no!
That was the thing that
That's why I wish it was a 5-pack.
He
Thank you.
McElroy.
That was the worst. I'm so bad at it. Oh, what shame! I
Billy?
almost missed my hands.
You did almost miss. It was
is big,
weird.
Billy.
You hit your
Yeah.
wrist.
All right. Should I take off my ring?
Oh, wow.
Solid.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's.
Oh, that was an explosion.
Wow.
I could see the wind.
It cried. The wind cried.
I think Billy's winning.
All this buildup for a guy that's
Clap off.
known for clapping.
All right,
As
here
a
we
ute.
go.
As
Here-
a ute,
As
I
a
was.
ute.
He's
Yeah.
past his prime.
How do you applaud a good clap? Because it would be redundant.
He's an old veteran here. This is the big finish. Let's see if he can. I feel Billy's might have been the best.
Billy's
one
was
so
really
far.
good.
We'll see.
I'm in the throes of bronchitis.
Anyway, we've got all.
Billy
the
also had the
excuses.
best form. Like he
doped
went
up
back like
Yeah.
an osprey.
Stretch
Penicillin.
out the fingers, you
Yeah,
guys. You know.
really confident.
Took his ring
Bronchitis
off.
as an excuse for a clap?
I think the ring really did it.
Yep.
All right, are we ready?
That was it.
Yeah.
You've been ready.
That was your clap right there. Yeah.
All right, silence, please. Me maximum clapping. Oh, no, that didn't count. No.
That's a fine.
Oh, that's a fire clap. You're disqualified.
Known for clapping, huh?
Okay,
When he was a kid.
yeah, no,
As a Ute. As a Ute.
okay.
That was like his golf shot.
That was really bad.
Oh, my
So clap
God.
off? I mean, what are we doing here?
So, I think Billy won.
Billy
didn't he?
wins.
I think.
I want to take my ring off, though.
I want to take my ring off.
All right,
too.
everybody go again.
No,
Is your ring a sausage casing? It's just twist.
Yes.
I thought I was pretty strong. Remember, I'm a Cody.
That was.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
I have a rhythm.
If it was a 5-pack, though.
Oh,
Thank
Stu.
you. Thank you.
Nice. All right. One more for Billy.
Oh, again?
Yeah, one more.
I want to kind of leave it how it went.
It was really good.
I don't blame you.
Take the ring off again. No, that one has missed. You
All
know.
right.
From all the pole
Stu
You're
vaulting.
good
wins.
at it. You're pretty good at it.
I'm on the medal stand.
Cody, you want
mean,
another shot? Because I feel like you finished like next to last.
Yeah, I underperformed. No.
Yeah.
See, I need a
thinking too
5-pack.
much.
There's a hesitation.
I
Yeah,
need
hesitation,
a
yeah.
5-pack.
All right, we'll give you the
Stutter,
5-pack. We'll
penalty
give you
kick.
the 5-pack. I don't think
ahead.
you're going to beat anybody with your 5-pack.
All right, that was closer.
All right, let's do that clap thing that you slowly clap, and then when we get to it, then Greg does his clap. So you do the slow, you do a clap, clap, clap.
Lighter.
I don't know what we're doing.
It's a slow clap.
At the end, when we're done, you're doing yours. Yours is the big finish. Here we
Go. And I'm seeing reports that there's a person that the Panthers canceled on for Jack Nicklaus, and this person is someone that I would have had no doubts could nail this drum beating.
Who's done it best? We've had Levon Hernandez recently. We've had Mike McDaniel. We've had Juan Pierre. Who's done it best? Greg, get your microphone in position before the segment starts. Thank you.
Juan Pierre was strong. Mike McDaniel brings a great energy to it. No one's been as bad as Dan Marino. Those are some of the best ones, I think.
Usman was pretty good, too.
It's Jason Taylor that they canceled on
Really?
Why?
because Jack Nicklaus,
Because
I guess,
Jack
is the
wanted to
golden
do it.
bear.
If you have
Right.
the option of a person that is known for how much winning they've done in their sport, or Jason Taylor on a day that you can clinch, and no disrespect to Jason Taylor, who's a Hall of Famer, this is the biggest celebrity they've ever had drumming this drum.
Right.
With that math that Mike just did, I regret Dan Marino ever doing it last year.
This feels right, though. Jack Nicklaus. It does, right?
This feels big. This
Yes.
feels like it
Yes.
meets the moment.
Feels slow, though.
We'll be there. We'll carry him.
Bringing a champion for this thing.
Like, I do wonder if there's any vetting of, like, does he know how to do it? Like, or is it just he's in? Like, I wonder if there's any email back and forth of sending a video of this is what you're going to have to do just to make sure you're
Do you
good with it.
He's Jack. He's got it.
Stu, do you think Jack Nicklaus today can hit a drive further than Chris Cote? And Chris Cote can launch off the tee.
100%.
Wait.
Yes.
I
say no.
I mean,
Oh, no,
I've
Jack would
seen-
outdrive you.
I've
No.
seen him hit. He
Jack
does
would
the
outdrive
master.
you.
Have you guys
No.
seen the master? Like they,
Right.
he
Yeah,
hits
the
it-
par 3.
No. Like the first tee shot, the
He takes-
Masters.
How far does
Yeah.
he hit it?
He
It
takes
looks
the
like
first
he
tee
hits it
shot,
like
right.
150.
Right. Well, he doesn't.
That's me.
Guys,
That's my
he's-
drive.
He's older than Joe Biden. Like, he's 84.
I mean, when you put it that specific way,
I mean,
He's 84. He's not hitting a driver further than Chris Cote. Like, are you out of your mind?
yeah, but I mean, still sounds like he can spank it occasionally.
Yeah.
So I think he can ratchet it up just
I don't
one
know.
time.
I worry about it. I don't
his
think
cats.
you got to pound that drum. You got to pound it.
Gary Player is older than Jack, and he's hitting his drives right now 250.
No,
I
Gary
mean,
Player is of that group of old guys, the youngest one, and hits it the furthest. I'm telling you, I'm gonna see. I don't know how I can look up how far he's driving it.
you
these
have a
days.
map presently on your on your desktop. Jack
I wrote
Nicklaus
in
drive.
Jack Nicklaus driver distance, and it's my location to Jack Nicklaus drive.
Gary Player is older than Jack.
That's what I said.
By
that
4
is-
years.
That is what.
This is a run for a title. No detail is too small.
But I'm telling you, Gary Player is in better shape. Like, he's moving around more. He's hitting the ball further than Jack
Would Gary
Nicklaus.
Player be better at the drum?
humble brag. I did recently. Well, Glenn Fry was still alive with the Eagles, but I went to an Eagles concert and Jack Nicklaus was standing right next to me the entire time. Rhythm, he was fine. He looked spry. And now, granted,
That was a
it was
while,
a while ago,
Yeah.
but he looked fine, shockingly fine.
Since we're speaking of golf, I will tell you guys that I don't know that it's ever happened in the history of the show what happened after yesterday's show. I find Stugatz to be among the people in my life over the course of my life to be the least introspective. He doesn't do very much in the way of regret after things have happened. He just sort of keeps life moving and doesn't inspect the tattered remains of what he's left in the rearview mirror.
Thank you.
But after yesterday's show, he felt like he blew it because he wanted to talk more about Rory McIlroy, as he likes to call him, because of the way that he choked. And I don't know if you felt bad for him. I do know that Greg Cote felt bad for him because it is pretty rare that you see. I know we talk about it all the time in sports. We love to go on television and say that somebody was afraid of the moment. But it's rarely as isolated as that where you can see that somebody has fallen apart on what should be easier for them. Because I heard you guys talking about one of the putts being something that Greg Cote would have demanded as a gimme at some point.
I would say 2 of the putts.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
You would have stormed off the green if you weren't given the gimmies that he missed.
Oh, yes, I would have. And it takes me 5 holes to get over that. I mean, I'm fuming if nobody gives me a 2.5-foot putt because secretly when I'm standing over that putt, I'm worried that I'm going to miss it. And apparently Rory McIlroy was too. That's the amazing thing. That's the big. Stugatz, tell me if I'm wrong. The biggest difference between an amateur golfer and a professional golfer isn't the distance off the tee, although it's that too. To me, the biggest difference is these guys on a 15, 18, 20-foot putt, they expect to make it.
Yes,
They
or at least
expect
get
to
it
make
down
it.
in 2.
Right.
yes.
And whereas I'm nervous over a 3-foot putt.
Of course.
And so to see
while demanding that a 2-foot putt be a gimme.
Yes. So to see a Rory McIlroy choke over a 2.5-foot putt is an amazing thing to me.
It was an amazing final round to the U.S. Open. It's why you watch that stuff. There were so many interesting things about it. He had a 2-shot lead. Rory did. He hasn't won a major since 2014. He's come so close so many times. He's had 5 second-place finishes at a major. But to miss those 2 putts and then to see the crowd rooting for a guy in Bryson DeChambeau who they hated like 3 years ago, who plays for Liv. And they're chanting USA, USA, USA for a guy who earns his money from a Saudi fund. I mean, it was, we don't care. We do not care. We don't care about anything. But yes, I did feel bad for Rory. And people comparing this to the end of the PGA, saying Rory wasn't very, he just left. He screeched off in his car. He wasn't shaking Bryson's hand and congratulating him. He's done it all on social media. And they're comparing it to what Bryson did at the end of the PGA to Xander Schauffele. Get out of here. They're totally different things, okay? Schauffele won the PGA. Both players played well. Rory lost that U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I don't expect Rory to go out there and do anything for Bryson. Not a single thing.
I don't know how you're managing to say his first name more bizarrely.
I don't know. It's just a tough name for me.
I mean, given the fact that he hasn't won a major in 10 years and this was his opportunity, it doesn't surprise me that he...
Are you wheezing?
The guy
It sounded like wheezing.
The guy that
It
says
could
he
be.
could beat me in a holding your breath competition.
No, I could.
It sounded like wheezing.
Maybe take a hit.
You know what? It sounded. Take a hit of the asthma, and it did sound like there was some whistling coming
Yeah.
through his nose. It wasn't quite whizzing. It wasn't, but he
Yeah.
was also talking at the same time.
I'm sorry to do that. I've just never heard you
No,
like wheezing
yeah, but
I was.
when you're not coughing.
But
I was wheezing.
I wasn't sure whether he was wheezing or on 6th Street over there's a train that comes through, and I just thought that from a distance there was a
whistle.
bit of a whistle. But he was the one talking.
Steam engine.
I didn't think it could be him because he was talking.
Nice call.
Hit that like a weed pen.
You all right?
I apologize.
That's okay.
Bronchitis.
Catch your breath. In the meantime, Chris and I have been obsessing over Drive for Your Life. I think Jack Nicklaus would be a slight favorite. Just, all right, Stugatz, here's a hypothetical.
Okay.
We get a large gallery around the tee. Now, they're allowed to do their warm-ups on the range, both Jack Nicklaus and Chris Cote.
This is so ridiculous.
But there's like a 10-minute waiting period between them on the driving range and them going up to the tee.
Right.
You have all those cameras out there, all that pressure.
That's the huge gallery might get to me.
You only get one attempt at
It
it.
probably wouldn't get to Jack.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It has
That's
to
why.
remain in play,
Like, I
right?
have no doubt. If they're both hitting it flush, Chris Cote's going to outdrive him fairly easily.
Chris,
but
you're about 300 yards.
Yeah,
right?
a good
Yeah.
one. I would
Chris-
say average like 260, 270.
no,
Now, Chris has
Chris
played
can
a-
frickin' drive.
No, he could drive it far. He has played in front of galleries before at Lake Tahoe. So
But
you
he
have
says
that
he gets
experience.
Yeah, the first couple holes, though. I think
you
so.
get nervous
Yeah,
if
but Jack wasn't walking up on the tee. I mean,
That's what I mean. If you built this up and it was a big thing and
Yeah.
Jack's right next
And
to
you're
me
going
there's
up against the
thousands of
Golden
people,
Bear?
First of all, it wouldn't be safe. Like, we'd have to move the galleries a little back.
no
like-
breakfast ball. Like yeah, it may be like he may duck fart 150 yarder up the middle, but
my swing speed is just better than his. at
yeah,
this
but you
point.
may shank it because of all the pressure.
But Mike, in fairness to Chris, what we're saying is Chris would have to choke. If they both hit flush drives, Chris is going to win.
Well, that's what I'm putting my action on.
Right,
Like,
Chris choking.
Chris
Right,
choking. Like
yeah.
he's going to go up there
Right.
and maybe try to do too much and really put on a show from the tee to just like, oh, no doubter. I'm going to outdrive this guy by 150 and then right into the drink.
And the person that loses dies. Because like, do you
yeah,
want
try
to
for
be
your life.
you want to be the guy that kills Jack Nicklaus
That's more pressure for
and
you.
live?
Put it on the
Which live?
No, like you want to be alive and be the person
Okay.
that killed Jack Nicklaus.
I don't know. It's so confusing.
How would your life be in the golf community? I imagine
Yeah.
you can't play golf anywhere ever again.
Yeah, you'd be ostracized.
Golf community.
At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll. Would Chris Cote outdrive an 84-year-old?
Have you ever played a Jack Nicklaus course, a design course?
I'm sure I have.
I did one in Reunion, and there was a house under construction, and it had his Golden Bear logo on it. It was a really huge house. Well, I'm getting somewhere with it. Go the bottom of the seed. Like, I'm getting somewhere. But he apparently, if he designs a course, gets to have a house on whichever course he designs.
Makes sense.
And that's why there was like a graffitied Golden Bear logo on this house that was under construction. It's part of the deal. No matter where he designs a course, he gets a house on that course.
I would love to do an interview with somebody who can answer all my questions about the greatest perks that celebrity athlete people get. Because what Greg Norman must get for designing courses, like just what are the ridiculous opportunities that these people get better than banging a drum as an 84-year-old at a hockey game? Because I would imagine that we would all be sort of embarrassed by how it is that rich people could get things for free that they don't need because they're rich people.
Like this home was a multi-million-dollar home that was under construction.
Right, of course.
And he has a just in real estate alone, that's probably the real value in doing these courses for him. Like he'll get a fee for designing it, but he also gets real estate.
He has a club in Palm Beach called the Bears Club.
I didn't spend enough
With
time
a massive house.
I didn't spend enough time yesterday on something that is being neglected as we talk about whether or not the athleticism of Chris Cote will hold up against a past his prime Golden Bear when Chris Cote is also past his prime. Because
My back hurts.
oh my God, this is funny. Like Stu Gatz limped in here today because he played a set of tennis against his daughter.
7-5. I mean,
He limped in here, and he is legitimately hurting. His whole body hurts. And Chris Cote, again, I mentioned this yesterday, but I didn't delve into it. Chris Cote had a non-contact back injury. Chris Cote's back seized up from just sitting around. It wasn't that it was while he was sitting down. It was not an action injury. He was just sitting there and his back seized up at one point and he howled in the general direction of his wife.
I wasn't even reaching for anything. There was no movement. I was sitting.
it happens.
And it was,
Yeah.
Oh, I just almost did it there, doing it. And I literally just, dude, the worst pain.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is.
Back pain
It's your back.
is there is rarely anything that is more taken for granted than back health. Because once back pain grabs you,
I was like, what if I just can never walk again? Like, it was that sharp of a pain. I'm like, where'd this come from? What if my whole life is over as I know it?
It's your biggest fear. If you have lower back issues, any movement, a sneeze could throw it out of place. And it is the
Well,
worst
you say
feeling.
a sneeze, but he wasn't doing anything at all.
I understand that. Sometimes you just move the wrong way, you get up off the couch the wrong way, and all of a sudden you can't walk
Again,
for 4 days.
Stugotz, he wasn't moving. There wasn't movement involved.
It's the rare non-movement back injury. I'm going to agree.
He just seized up, and what washed over me was how pathetic that is. Like how you have to just take some inventory of where you are in aging and mortality when you are so dad that you injure yourself without an action. This is like Howard Bryant tearing both his hamstrings getting out of bed in the morning.
You could do that, Dan, or just take the big needle. I mean, that's what I did, and it hasn't acted up in 10 years until yesterday.
Well,
I mean,
you're in bad shape. Like
Yeah.
you're in bad shape from
thank
playing
you.
a set. I
Right.
didn't mean it overall, although that too.
Right.
You're in bad shape from what happened playing against your daughter. You don't seem well.
Rachel got really good at tennis. I have no idea how, but usually I would beat her 6-0, 6-1. Maybe I give her 3 games, 6-3. She took me deep into a set. 7-5. I mean, I beat her 7-5, but she took me deep into the set.
But she beat
I was
you.
not planning on playing 12
But
games.
you're broken. You're
Yeah.
broken today.
And she's fine. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys about something because you know I have been interested in these streaming wars, at least in part, Stugotz, because it's become evident to me, talking to people and reading about it, that all of these CEOs that are getting so much money to lead us into the future of televised entertainment, they really don't know what they're doing. Like they're in way over their head on an assortment of things, and I think we assume that these people know what they're doing.
In their defense, it's changing so quickly, it's hard to figure it out.
Correct,
right?
but when you have CEOs who get all of these giant things that are bigger than all of the employees by multiples that carry businesses, you expect them to lead you into a future. What I'm telling you is that what they're paying these people, most of them do not know what they're doing in a way that has become obvious to everyone in Hollywood by the decisions that are being made. After the strike, they didn't know how to handle the strike. They sort of ended the strike without knowing what it is that they're doing, and they now also don't know what they're doing. And it's part of why you're getting such homogenized content, such content that doesn't take any chances. It's all a little bit the same. They're all trying to copycat things as the hedge funds come and ruin another thing. But in the middle of that, Netflix is winning. And Netflix is winning, at least in part, because they've got so much money, but they can also be nimble with that money. So you saw what happened with Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut, right? Did you see
of course. Yeah.
that Netflix is going to pivot to take that from Nathan's because they have the dexterity in order to do live content where they can suddenly take that holiday by just taking the two brands in competitive eating and saying, oh, you're going to discard that? Okay, we'll take that. And look at what we'll do. We'll end everything that you have over there. And Joey Chestnut will be a vegan hot dog eater. And we're going to pay brands and we're going to do it live. It is super interesting to me to watch the big money because Amazon's not going to sit this out, Stugotz. Bezos is not going to sit this out. Like
Too competitive,
They're going to lead on the live programming, but Amazon's going to have to get in that game.
What's remarkable about Netflix is this veering into the groundwork was laid long ago, but we're seeing it all actually play out now. Them really turning to live events kind of happened as they did the password sharing thing. And the crackdown there really worked because it was not like 8 months ago. You're saying that they're winning now. 8 months ago, strike was going on. People were worried, oh, you can't actually show your subscriber base. You'll tank the industry. You'll tank the stock price. They were in a bad way. And in just a couple of short months, they've totally turned the narrative around.
And Netflix is going to turn this Chestnut versus Kobayashi thing into an annual thing or into something that continues as a franchise, just the way they did in golf with that thing where once a year they have the 4 celebrities play a round of golf. That's going to be the same thing with eating now. They swooped in and they're going to own this. Netflix is now going to own competitive eating.
They have the two guys you want to see eat. I can't believe it.
It's amazing how nimble. It's amazing how nimble they are because as soon as the news breaks that Joey Chestnut,
they moved.
As soon as that stuff comes in about the vegan hot dogs, and there was even a back and forth. No, he's not exactly out. Before you can get that sentence out, Netflix announces him versus Kobayashi.
Well, presumably his agents were putting all that together, right? And that's why he takes a $1.2 million deal because he knows he has the Netflix things coming.
The Tyson.
When you say people are going to get in the game, do you mean Amazon's going to have hot dog eating contests also, or just general live events?
Live
'Cause
events.
it'd be great if everyone just had their own hot dog eating contest, like Apple has one, Amazon.
But Netflix has the two guys you want to see,
Yeah.
right? They do. That was a smart move by them.
I'm going to read something to you about Netflix from Vulture's streaming newsletter. Less than 2 years after Wall Street, many in the entertainment industry soured on Netflix. There's been a vibe shift from both camps. The streaming giant is back on top, arguably stronger than ever. In recent weeks, its stock price has flirted with all-time highs as investors applaud Netflix's return to double-digit subscriber growth and quarterly profits measured in billions. Those gains have come in no small part by a series of moves consumers would probably say they hate, cracking down on password sharing, putting commercials on shows, and hiking the monthly fee. But those viewers seem pretty satisfied by Netflix's content strategy, embracing both ambitious bets like Three Body Problem and Ripley, as well as crowd pleasers such as The Night Agent and The Roast of Tom Brady. And it doesn't hurt that rival conglomerates have once again taken to leasing their biggest library titles to the enemy, allowing Netflix to give its member access to linear TV faves such as Young Sheldon. Overall, this year's ranking race wasn't even close. Says one veteran TV publicity executive, future installments of this survey may actually need to place Netflix in its own above-it-all category, with everyone else fighting each other down below while the king sits by and takes it all in amused. They announced themselves with what the ridiculousness of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is, because everybody's trying to get into live sports. But now you're just going to take over sports? You're going to take competitive eating. You're going to take boxing, because you're going to take a big night in boxing and just put on a circus event of ridiculousness, as you already get in the wrestling game, because you're making Nick Khan and Vince McMahon all kinds of rich because they have a product that they can put live on Netflix. And MMA is about to come up again at ESPN. Dana White's going to get out of there in 2025. He's not going to be at Disney anymore. He's going to go over to Netflix.
Man, they've been such great partners to him. I'd be curious to see how that plays out.
all
It's going
that-
to be interesting.
I love that
it
it can, like a streamer that made its billions upon billions on video on demand, and you watch on your own time, now making a play for linear television's big ratings grabbers, live events, live sports, roast. That feels like an event. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they make a play on an award show, because these are things that you have to experience live. And if linear TV is going to start getting out resourced in that game, then the whole thing looks super different until we all just revert back to cable television.
Greg, I heard you and your son talking, and he was accusing you of privilege because of some take that you had about parking that I wasn't privy to, but I only caught a piece of it, and I'm not used to your son looking at you. He's a child of privilege and accusing you of privilege. But what was this parking-related take, this privileged parking take?
It's my latest pet peeve. And I introduced it on my podcast, and it's become a real thing in my neighborhood. Okay, neighbors are parking their cars on their lawns. Okay, you got a driveway, but there's a couple of cars in the driveway, 3 cars in the driveway. You need more room. I don't know how many cars you got at your house. Maybe it's 8, 9. People are parking on their lawn, not on the swale, but on their lawn.
Wow.
And it's ugly. I don't know where privilege comes in. It's ugly.
I'm saying it's because you have a house that your sons have left and you only have 2 cars there. But there are people who have houses where they have their sons living there and their sons' and there are people with a lot of, like, where are they supposed to park?
But you want your neighborhood to present the right way.
Thank you.
When people are buying a house, you want them to drive through that neighborhood thinking it's a good neighborhood, and parking your car on the grass of your house does not suggest that this is a good neighborhood.
I don't know what he's
Greg
doing
has every
there.
right to be upset.
I think
He
I'm
does.
just thinking of swale. I drive through your neighborhood. People park on swales. I don't see people like pulling up past the sidewalk
I'm
onto.
going to take a picture of it and show you.
Okay. I mean,
gotta-
I'm with you that that's a little odd.
You got to pitch in the neighborhood. You do. You
Yeah.
have to keep your roof clean.
Thank
you have
you.
to keep the driveway pressure clean. You have to do what you have to do.
And the biggest perpetrator happens to be the guy I've already got a beef with, because he's the the holiday besmircher who's putting up his Halloween decorations in late August.
He's got like the premier corner spot in the neighborhood. It's one of the first houses you see. He crushes all the holidays. I love this guy's house. When I'm going to my parents' house, it's like it's good energy, and I guess he parks on his
How many
swale.
people live there, though? Because Chris's point is a good one. If you have 8 people living in a home with 6 cars and you only have a driveway for 3 or 4 cars, what are you supposed to do?
Okay, this guy has a driveway. He's got a swale. But he's parking his cars willy-nilly all over the grass. Never in the same spot twice in a row. Smart, because if you do that, the heat of the engine is going to burn a patch in the grass, and the tire marks are going to kill the grass as well. So he's doing the right thing. But I'm going to take a picture and show you. Every time I drive by, there's like he happens to have like a couple of big giant pickup trucks. Oh, big giant pickup truck.
Well, that's why, right? That's why there's no more room in the driveway, right? Because they're
Get a bigger driveway. I mean,
yeah, it's just
what?
Stu Gatz is right. It's an eyesore. It's an eyesore.
Isn't this the type of thing that would bring down the property value of your house? The neighbor doing that?
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Yes,
100%.
Yes.
Oh, if you thought Stu Gatz knew all of the rules of the neighborhood just because of etiquette and is just being polite, you don't think that every good thing that he does is tied to whatever it is that makes him money?
This guy's like a half a mile away from my dad.
It doesn't matter.
This
Clean
guy's
your
not
roof.
affecting my dad's
Did you
drive
hear
by
Stu
him every
Gatz, though?
day.
All of a sudden, Stu Gatz is a community organizer. You got to keep your roof clean. Why do you think that
Yes,
is?
The head of the
Like,
HOA.
I mean, driving down the value of his home. How long have you had that home? You probably rode a horse and put some stakes in the ground for it.
I did. I got the horse out back. But that's,
Parked in the front would have been funny.
yeah, parked on my lawn, riding a horse. I'd rather have a horse parked on a lawn than a big-ass pickup truck.
On your stable.
It's ridiculous.
Makes sense.
Is his driveway otherwise full? Is that the reason that it's happening? There is no, like, you would have him park where? What's he supposed to do with the other car?
I see a big pickup truck on his grass when there is a spot in the driveway. Okay?
Well, it's probably because someone's left while that was parked.
His wife's not home yet. That's her spot.
I'm going to go to City Hall. I'm going to speak to my commissioners and
No,
see if
you're
I can
not.
get this
You're
done.
not doing
You're
that.
not
Yes,
gonna,
I am.
You're not going
Too
to
much
do
work.
anything.
Right, I will.
You're not going to do that.
That's right. It's time for Against the
the
Spread. And it is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Roy, tell me you're taking the Panthers.
Game 5, Stanley Cup Final. The Panthers are 1.5 goal favorites tonight. Now, the Oilers have failed to cover the puck line in 7 of the last 8 games following a home win, and the Panthers have a 4-game winning streak. So, the Florida Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup tonight at 1.5 goal favorite against the spread.
You guys okay with that? The jinx
Did I misunderstand you, though? Did you say the Panthers have a 4-game winning streak?
Home winning
Okay,
streak.
home winning streak.
Yep.
Okay.
0-1 in the last one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
on the road.
Yes. You're not jinxing them, though, by picking them, right? Just to be clear.
Just to be clear,
Okay.
no.
Matthew Tkachuk might have jinxed him. He did. He pulled his best Messier. He said, "We're going to go out there. We have an opportunity to do something big. We're going to go out there and do that."
He didn't say what, though.
Yeah,
just
did he say what
do,
it was?
Do that.
He also didn't say. Well, he said we're going to go out there and do that tonight.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But it worked when Messier said it. I mean,
It's the Eastern Conference
Guys,
Final
you know,
when
like,
Messier said it.
What do you want me to do? Like, you just control what you can control.
You're right.
I'm wearing my closeout jacket today. I've seen 2 Prince of Wales trophies lifted in the last 2 years when I wear that jacket.
Okay.
All right?
yeah.
Messier said Greg was right, by the way. That he's not a great one until he wins a cup.
Yep, he did.
Messier was on my side.
He also said he was McUnderrated, which is weird.
He
all
was
over
making
There was a
mistakes.
disconnect.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was making mistakes.
Mike, who you got?
Nationals, Diamondbacks tonight. Slade Cicconi's not very good. They have a bad bullpen. I think the Nationals can tee off a little bit. So we're going to go Nats against the spread.
Hey, you should just
Billy
snuck that in
boy.
there, man.
I, too, am going to take the Florida Panthers tonight, Dan.
Oh,
0-1 in the last one, as we reported earlier in this very exclusive segment here. But you know what they're going to get tonight, Dan? Some home cooking.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. They
Billy's
were the
been on
last
fire.
team to. They were the last team to arrive. Edmonton beat them here. I don't know how, but Short rest for the Panthers, but they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it in the den tonight, in the barn, if you will.
There it is.
They're going to win by
I
minus
just
1.5.
I hate that we're in a contract year with DraftKings and that all around us there's serious and good gambling analysis, and that's how Billy gets in.
Billy's on fire.
I'm right every single
He is,
week.
right.
I predicted the UFL championship game.
And he called it a barn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, and that's true. He did call it barn. Yeah.
The analysis, the conclusion that we're making around here, because I do have a decision to make on behalf of the company. They are claiming in the department that helps us buy things, they are claiming that they are running out of billboards in Edmonton and that we have to make a decision quickly.
I told you McAfee was going to buy them, and you guys didn't listen to me.
That's what Big Billboard would say in Edmonton.
That is true.
Right.
They're digital billboards. They can create another one like that.
They're saying, though, that they don't have many left and that if we
It's a
want
sales tactic,
something
Dan.
to run from now until June
Always taking a
25th,
moose.
we have to do it right now.
Allocation?
I have seen Angel has done a good job with the graphics, so I have seen a number of the options. These could go up. These could go up in a way that if the Panthers lose tonight, people streaming into Edmonton for Game 6 would be seeing billboards of Greg Cote saying Greg Cote was right.
But that's not funny. If
Yeah, it
they
is. I love
lose
it.
Game 5, like,
kinda
I
funny.
don't understand.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
I think it's funny. I think
Because
the
we're
risk of
the
it all
idiots?
is but if at the end of it, I just want to understand what you guys think. You guys are of the belief that what is going to happen here is we're going to put up billboards, and then 40 years from now, somebody's going to say, "Do you remember that time that the Le Batard Show cost Florida and the Panthers the Stanley
I'll say
Cup
it.
by putting up a billboard?"
Yeah. That legacy will be carried on through my
That's
children.
funny. That's
because
funny.
I would hold you personally responsible.
That's funny.
It's not funny.
Okay,
It's
because
not.
you take this very seriously. It's not
Yeah,
funny,
well,
but
I'm
it's
sorry.
funny.
It's only the hardest trophy in sports to win, Dan.
My daughter will be impressed that, wait, this guy that everyone hates, he used to be your boss? Like, yes, honey.
The thing that I'm laughing about is that you guys think that we have any control over how the hardest trophy in sports is won. Like, that's the part that's funniest to me.
Okay, yeah.
The
Superstitions are stupid.
The
I get
second
it.
funniest part to me is that this particular person, this hockey expert, is saying something that we could say as the most common sports radio argument that we present to the aliens as what's the dumbest things humans do. They take something that's great and they argue about whether it's underrated or overrated or properly rated when everyone rates it differently. Like it's almost the dumbest sports argument. This guy who's clearly great at skating on razor blades faster than everyone else and doing things with the puck that change the way the sport is played, even though Barkhoff is on the other side, that we can affect it by putting an old man's picture up who's got bronchitis and can't get through a segment without whistle wheezing.
You're only going to make Greg Cote and fans of just anarchy happy. You're going to make most of this market upset. You're certainly going to make all the other markets upset by being so brash. It's going to be a terrible look for us if they lose tonight, go back to Edmonton while you have celebratory billboards up. Like, you're doing it for a small fraction of folks. We're looking you. Do you not care for us? We're asking you to not do this.
Most
please.
people won't get the joke. It'll just make us look unorganized
It's a
and be like,
cell
why'd
phone.
they do that before they won? Like,
No, but like we're the three biggest Panther fans that you know. We're all looking at you, asking you, please, maybe don't do this. Maybe your brand and all that, maybe you can do all those hijinks after we actually win. But on the front end, maybe, just maybe, let's see if we can do something for the first time in franchise history, please.
The man said that Connor McDavid plays 7 minutes a night.
Well, I said 7 minutes a period.
no, you
No,
didn't.
you
Seven
said
minutes,
something
but
else
we know
tonight.
what- I knew what you
It
meant,
was a
Greg. I knew.
misspeak. It was a
But you guys are
misspeak. I knew
misunderstanding Dan.
I knew
Inventory
better.
is tight, okay? Like if we
I
gotta
don't
get-
buy that. And if it's tight, so be it.
You got to act now.
Okay, may
While
I?
supplies last.
All right, as
Dan,
was-
you're looking around to your allies, and it's Billy Gill, and it's Greg Cote.
Yeah.
And no one
It's the
here is
audience.
acting
I
in
think
good
the
faith.
I think the audience would like me to do this. And you did claim yesterday when I'm asking, did we get used by Dan Hurley? You're like, get used. Attention's the only thing that matters. Attention. Attention's all you ever want around here. Attention. That's what we want.
I don't understand what you're doing. It's apples and orange. It's Snapples and oranges.
Well, what's the
Thank you.
payoff? It's attention, right? So either way, you get the attention. Who
This is
cares?
bad
Well, we want the
attention. You gotta
attention.
do it.
You
No
want
one wants
credibility
this.
with
No
a
one wants
billboard
this.
Nobody wants this.
No one wants this.
Greg does.
If the attention is look at these idiots, they lost and they put up a thing like they won, like that's not funny. It just makes us look dumb.
Guys, you can put one in front of my house if we win. Just wait.
As
It's
the
coming
star-
from Mr. Everything's Good for You.
All right, as the star of the billboard.
Thank you.
As the star of the billboard, let me propose a very simple compromise. The billboard goes up in Edmonton tomorrow morning if the Panthers win tonight.
Deal.
Fine.
Simple as
Good.
that.
Dan
Yes.
doesn't want that. Thank you.
I'll give you 5 claps.
By then, there's no billboards.
might not
They
have
run out by
billboards.
tomorrow morning.
This-
They
this-
need to know now.
This is a very
inventory
effective
game,
troll.
There's a
We're not
billboard
doing this.
shortage.
We're not doing this.
Is
Very
are,
effective.
are
like
Kristen
eggs.
or Cynthia out there? Can I ask them what big billboard is saying about how inventory is shrinking in Edmonton as we speak? Because they're saying we have to act now.
Yeah,
They-
bullshit.
My man Greg came around.
But Greg thinks it's a brilliant idea, and Greg badly wants to do it because Maximum Me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's a great billboard, too, especially because the likeness of me is from like 1985.
That's what's great.
I look youthful.
It's just a musty photo.
It's
This
me,
is dumb.
Maximum, by the way.
All
Yeah.
this is dumb. The Oilers are really good after a 3-game losing streak.
Just as funny after. It's not funnier.
They
I don't
gotta
think it's
win.
funnier before.
They gotta
But if they
beat a
win
good
tonight, You
team.
wake up in Edmonton and the billboards are there.
They got to beat a really good
And if you
team, a
lose,
team
it's
that's
funny.
hard to beat, a
Put it
team
up
that
tomorrow
on the
morning.
balance of the entire series probably shouldn't be down
It's a
3-1.
good team.
This
It's a
show
team
is-
I'm scared of.
This show is playing Panther-like defense right now. Swarming.
Yeah.
Our forecheck. This show's forecheck right now is overwhelming.
Edmonton should wake up to that billboard after the Cats raise the cup tonight.
And you
That's
know
what
it.
should happen. And you know it. And you know it.
I mean, all
But
of
they
it's a bad
can't.
look.
They can't unless Dan puts the order in now.
correct.
That's the point.
can't-
Well, but
you
the
can't have
order
a-
in now is contingent
That's it.
on the Panthers winning.
Act
And if
like
they
we've
don't
been
win,
there,
you
even though
eat
we've
the
never
the deposit. You eat the deposit if the Cats lose.
Eat the deposit.
Yeah,
oh, man.
I've seen the quotes. We'll live.
Okay.
We'll live.
All right. All right. Cool.
It's not. They're not that expensive.
It's
the
it's
billboards in
fine.
Edmonton.
Well, it's in Canadian.
Trust me.
Canadian dollar.
It's like a fourth of your 4 stops on a flight to Edmonton.
There you go.
Oh, good. Oh, great.
We're good.
Greg, I do want to celebrate how pathetic your mustache is 1 week into this experiment. You're going to keep it up, right? This has been
Yeah.
met.
Oh, yeah.
Your wife hates. She must hate what's happening.
Well, she's
right now.
mocking it right now more than hating it. Give her time to hate.
But it's
Right now-
gonna take the way that it is now. You look like somebody, okay, who runs a business in railroad in the 1920s.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
You.
So thank you.
You're somebody who pays for things in cattle.
Right. That's right. No, I feel that it's coming in. You know, I don't like to look at it because it makes me
Slowly,
sad.
yeah.
But I feel like it's coming in.
It's not coming in, and it's going to be a month before it comes in at all.
It's not a problem.
It is barely something that anyone can see, and it's patchy. It just
we're
it
zoomed in on it and I can barely see
It looks like you've just missed some spots shaving.
It's my playoff stash.
I want to ask the group, Stugotz, because we were talking about mixed martial arts before, and Conor McGregor hasn't won a fight in a really long time, but he's still that sport's biggest star, just in terms of name power and how he can fill an arena if he decides to fight. But Chael Sonnen has just casually thrown out there, hey, McGregor's in rehab. And this is Chael Sonnen talking, and he's not citing sources, and he's a wrestling villain, and he says reckless stuff, but he also has been right on a handful of occasions, and people have been thinking from video that they've seen that Conor McGregor is totally partying out of control for years now.
They're also mysterious about what the actual injury is here, which is leading to some, speculation.
It's leading to a ton of speculation. Greg is nodding vigorously, and I cannot stop staring at that mustache.
It's a beauty. It's going to come in great because I grow them low and slow. I'm not like these guys who can go from clean shaven to nothing in a matter of a week. Low and slow, I grow mine. Give me 2 months. Mm-hmm. In 2 months, this is going to
What?
be lavish and luxurious.
It's not going to be lavish.
It will be lavish and luxurious. I can grow a goatee.
Right.
I'm taking away the goatee and just doing the stash. It's going to be
A
great.
Cote.
Yeah, that's right, a Cote. I may need to dye, give it a little help on the color.
Yeah.
But it's going to come in lavish. It's going to be a thick, bushy mustache in a couple of months.
It's not the worst thing in hair, but only because Landon Donovan had what happened to him yesterday, where a lot of people were pointing out that the left side of his head, it just looked like the state of Florida, the peninsula of Florida in terms of hair. It was not a look he was going for. And it's now being reported by one of his friends that he's mid-hair transplant. Is that what it is?
Mike McGee, an MLS legend that never really got a fair shot with the national team, I should say, texted Landon Donovan. I thought I had seen this out of the corner of my eye, the first assignment that Landon had. And I was like, my guy, he's finally doing it because he's really holding on to those 11 hairs on top of his head.
Who goes for that look?
And
really.
according to this text, they said it wouldn't be shown on television. I'm having a hair transplant procedure.
Oh, my.
But, dude, like, if you just do the entire head. You shave the entire head in advance of the transplant.
Wear a hat.
How would that not show up? Like, I don't understand.
I don't understand how it is that he thought he was going to go on television looking that way and no one would notice. Like, what does he think they can do television-wise with graphics?
For a moment, forget about showing up on television. That is a psychotic hairstyle to be just walking out of the house with.
You shave your head like entirely?
Yeah,
Say
you
I'm
would
trying a thing, and then you put
yeah,
the seedlings or whatever.
I would shave my head entirely at that point.
Can they
rather
put it
than,
on the other side?
Well, no,
There's a horseshoe all the way around.
it goes all the way around because that's where they take the flap of skin.
To me, it's always interesting. I know that Michael Jordan made bald cool, but I cannot respect you athletically if you have the cul-de-sac. Like, if you're hanging on to just the Jimbo Fisher haircut. Like, that's
Ron Washington.
For those listening along in the podcast, I don't know exactly how to articulate it, but Landon Donovan looks more bald like this than if he were actually bald.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I can't take you seriously as an athlete if you are somebody who has the cul-de-sac of hair.
Yeah.
Who's the greatest athlete
Terry Bradshaw.
we've ever had? That's a good one.
Well, it's just that's why Manu Ginobili's Eurostep was always unguardable because he's like barreling down on a dude and he's like, there's no way this guy's got to move.
But he was just bald spot in the back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had the receding hairline, the male pattern baldness.
We'll be free.
World Be Free is also a good one. He also made it, it seemed less dorky than what it is that Landon Donovan has working in his prime. Not now. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen done with hair.
Baseball hats are always like a cool cheat code, too, because you're like, yeah, fireballer, Nolan Ryan. Oh, man, John Smoltz, what a man. I got no shot there. And then they take off their hats, and you're like, really?
You mentioned that. Dan Hurley joining us in a baseball cap looked about 30 years younger than he actually is on the sideline.
Great cheat code.
Mm-hmm.
God bless hats.
The baseball cap does help there.
Matt Hasselbeck.
It's not a long list.
Jim Furyk.
Speaking of the baseball hat, I am telling you, Bryson DeChambeau became popular once he ditched the Kangol and went with a baseball hat. I am telling you, it helped. It helped everything for Bryson DeChambeau.
Wow. People forgot that he's taking all that blood money from South Africa. Didn't even care.
South Africa?
Saudi Arabia.
I mean, Saudi Arabia.
I mean, he may be involved with the diamond trade, I guess.
Different atrocities.
Same
Get your
initials.
atrocities right, would you please?